Hello and welcome to another episode of Northside Now. This is the podcast where we take you on a tour through all of the ministries and the latest happenings around Northside Church to keep you better connected with your church family. My name is Patrick, and with me as always are my co-hosts, Glenn Miller and Kevin Bryant.
What's up?
What's happening, guys?
Oh, hello there.
It's good to be back.
Yes, you and your little scooter.
Yeah.
What is this called? Start
My
calling you
wheels.
Scooting.
I've been called worse.
Scooter.
Yeah.
So how is the repaired heel doing?
Well, I guess it's doing all right. I can't put any weight on it. At least for a few more weeks. I'm 1 foot only, so hopping around.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
At least you're up moving.
But to be honest, I'm in less pain now than I was before the surgery, so that tells me that I actually did need to have this done.
Yeah, which is a good thing to know.
Yes,
It is.
After the fact.
Yeah.
After the fact. Going into it, I wasn't real sure, but no.
Good thing to know.
No, I was very sure.
Well, I know we talked recently in one of these episodes. Do you have a piece of this said
No.
spur or no?
I wanted to keep it and put it on a necklace, but
Lacquer it and what?
lacquer it and put it on a necklace, but no, they wouldn't let me do that. So
That's
yeah,
no fun.
no fun. But no, this was my first surgery that I've ever had, so it was my
Really?
first experience with anesthesia.
No
and all that kind of
wisdom teeth or anything like
stuff.
that.
Still got them all. That's why I'm so wise.
So do we have any video of you talking out of your head like they do when they get
No.
their wisdom teeth out?
No, I didn't have any
You weren't loopy.
I wasn't loopy. So I mean, they rolled me back there, and
What's the first thing you remember when you woke up?
that I had a tube in my throat.
Oh, wow.
I mean, once I woke up, I was awake. So it's kind of funny. Apparently, I'm a lightweight with the anesthesia because they were like, all right, it was an IV anesthesia. So they rolled me back there. They put the mask on me for some oxygen, and they're like, all right, breathe deeply. And I was out. And then apparently they called Elizabeth and were like, hey, we're out of surgery. We're done. We're just waiting for him to wake up. And it was like another 30 minutes. They were like, the anesthesia's worn off. He's just back there sleeping.
Oh, wow.
And so when I finally did woke up, I was awake. I was never loopy or out of it because I just stayed asleep for a little while.
That's funny.
Well, that's good. Well, we're glad you're back up and at it. And
Yep.
So if you hear a little cart coming up behind you, it's probably Patrick zooming down the
Do you have
corridor.
like a bell or a beep beep thing on it?
You need a
Look, I had my whole Amazon cart full of all of I had like a bike horn and like a light and a bell, like all sorts of stuff. But Elizabeth told me I couldn't waste my money on it. She did let me get the drink holder. So I have a drink holder on it. But
nice. Since Elizabeth wouldn't let him waste his money, if you would like to waste your money on it.
Yeah, if you want to buy me some accessories for my scooter.
Can we put like little curb feelers or something on the tires? And
Of course.
Fuzzy dice?
Fuzzy dice. Ooh, we need a fuzzy dice.
Those are baseball cards to put in the spokes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Or those little beads that slide up and down.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you got cool, like
I got cool rims.
aluminum looking wheels.
No, I just need some off-road tires for this thing.
That thing does look pretty mean.
Knobbies, baby.
I need some like flame decals to put on it.
Oh, boy.
Well, speaking of flame decals, have you heard what one of the proposed large sellers for Christmas is this year?
No.
To the 20, 30, 40, 50 something crowd?
Flamethrowers.
No, Hot Wheel cars.
Oh.
Really?
There is a big push, and this is right up y'all's alley. There's a big push this year bringing back a lot of toys, and some of them are collectors, but some of them are not. They're actually used to be played, like the old Evel Knievel thing where you used to wind it up, and he'd take off and do the stunt bike thing. Those are all proposed big sellers for this year. Evidently, what every wife knows now is that guys and women too love their toys. And so they're wanting to bring back all these toys that you grew up with. That's supposed to be the big Christmas seller this year.
All right. I'm not mad at that.
Hot Wheels.
Somebody tell my wife.
Stuff like that. So
I'm curious how the toy becomes a potential big thing.
yeah,
You never
Is
know.
it just like social media seeding that
well, do you remember like what was it? It's Cabbage Patch Dolls,
Furbies,
Tickle Me Elmo. They
Yeah.
would say Tickle Me Elmo, and then you could never find them anywhere.
Right.
So I don't know. I wonder what the thing with that is. But I saw that report the other day because we were sitting at right around 90 days until Christmas.
Oh my.
So,
because that sounds like a classic marketer's.
Well, that's the thing. I think some of it originally was just, this, whatever, the toy became whatever hot that year or whatever. But now I think a lot of it is sort of built-in scarcity. Because I know at least with like some of the, because I'm into Star Wars action figure collecting, if you haven't listened to any recent episodes, but a lot of times the Hasbro, at least with those action figures, will build in some scarcity. So they'll send a box to the store and it'll have 10 of this one figure, 4 of this one, and only 1 of this one. And so they kind of build in some scarcity, and then they push it with social media and stuff like that. So
do they still hit up and put a lot of money into making, like, remember the commercials for Saturday morning cartoons, good, this cool, I had the big racing truck or whatever. Do they still do that? Because I know like Clay watches a lot of his cartoons are on like Netflix or Disney Plus. I mean, he doesn't see a lot of regular
Saturday
TV
morning cartoons are not a thing anymore.
Or even afternoon cartoons. I mean,
yeah.
So I wonder if they're making those commercials, are they?
Honestly, it's been so long since I've watched actual TV. I don't know.
Well, and it would be, you'd focus on the Nickelodeon and the
Nickelodeon,
Disney Junior and all those things, which I have honestly not watched in a while as well.
What?
But I'm sure they still have ads geared toward kids.
I mean,
pretty sure.
I bet you see some of that stuff on, like, if you're watching YouTube, the YouTube ads on kids' videos.
Actually, there's a few things I do that I have to do for my sanity, and YouTube Premium is one of them. I cannot do the YouTube ads. If I did not have YouTube Premium, I probably would never look at YouTube. Oh, it just wears me out. Halfway through it, I just got to pay for that premium.
Yeah,
it's not. I mean,
I get it.
I don't eat a certain meal. I mean, I like to go, this is my YouTube Premium meal.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I understand that. I'm also like, on the other side, I'm like, I'd rather watch an ad than have to pay for it. So maybe I'm just cheap.
I don't know. I think I don't know. You just,
you get to a limit and you just can't take it anymore.
And I don't do that on everything, but YouTube is one of those things. So now if I ever back off on the amount of time I spend on YouTube for various reasons, then I probably will do that. But, a lot of times I'll have YouTube on in the background at my desk or something, of music or just different stuff. It would drive me crazy to try to listen to music with ads in it. So,
well, did y'all hear about what McDonald's is doing?
No. What is that? Still selling Happy Meals and whatnot.
They're bringing back Happy Meals.
What?
But they're bringing them back for adults. Happy Meals for adults.
Again, going along with the adult toy thing. What is going on?
What?
I don't know. Yeah, Happy Meals for adults.
Okay.
Now, what's in this Happy Meal?
So the Happy Meal, you can get it with either a Big Mac or a 10-piece nugget, and then a medium fry and medium drink. But then it'll also come with like a figurine of some of the classic McDonald's characters.
Like Hamburglar,
Grimace, Birdie. I think it's just those 3 original characters. And then the team of people that they've partnered with have put their own mascot in there called Cactus Buddy. He's not one of the originals, but you can get Hamburglar, Grimace, Birdie, or Cactus Buddy in your adult
Hamburglar had some good commercials.
Who was the guy with the Big Mac head?
That was Mayor McCheese.
Yeah, Mayor McCheese. That's right.
Boy, this is bringing back a lot of commercials in my head.
So what's the thing? I mean, wow. What's the deal?
I don't know. I was excited about it until I actually looked up what these things look like.
Yeah.
And I'm a little creeped out by them. So the like design team that they partnered with to create these minis is actually like a streetwear clothing.
Oh, so they're edgy.
They're edgy. And it's called, what is it? Yeah. CPFM. Cactus Powered Flea Market or something like that.
What?
But it's like a streetwear clothing brand that like Kanye West and like Will Ferrell or Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
Not Will Ferrell. Pharrell Williams.
Will Ferrell.
You're happy.
Yeah. Like made popular, but their little Cactus Buddy, their little mascot has 4 eyes, like 2 on top of the other 2. And so they've done that on all of them. So it's Hamburglar with 4 eyes and Grimace with 4 eyes and Birdie with 4 eyes. And it's like the eyes are on top of each other.
Does Hamburglar have 2 masks?
Yes. And it looks,
oh, wow.
It looks real dumb.
Yeah.
So I was a little excited about it. And then I saw that. I was like, just give me Grimace. Just give me a Grimace. I don't want four-eyed Grimace.
I don't know. It's got to be, is there a price break on these things? Because would a toy drive you to buy a Happy Meal for adults?
Not me.
So I'm just thinking there's got to be some other hook.
Barbie still gets Happy Meal.
I get it if it's, it's less food.
Yeah, less food.
Less food. It takes away the anxiety of having to, you say, I just want a Happy Meal.
Or, having the 2 cheeseburger meal or whatever it is, that's just a little bit less food.
I like the 2 cheeseburger meal. That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Will you get carded to make sure you're an adult?
Sorry, kid, you have to be. You're too young to get a Happy Meal.
You've got to give this to mama or daddy.
That's fascinating. We'll see how
what else comes in an adult Happy Meal? A pack of cigarettes and
wow.
So Burger King had a big kids meal, didn't they?
Or something like that.
Big Kids. They tried to do that whole thing for a while.
Yeah.
Well, what's the deal with adults and kids toys and kids remember? So I guess going back is the big thing.
Nostalgia.
Now. The nostalgia is the moneymaker now.
Oh, 100%.
I suppose. I think it's always been, but
and people always love their toys.
True.
They sometimes the toys just get bigger and more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what you think. Yeah.
Like, look at NASA. Y'all see this about NASA this past week? They crashed a $300 million spacecraft into an asteroid just to see if they could.
Well, they got a perfectly good blueprint on how to do that. Just get Bruce Willis and some of his friends.
Yes, that's right.
I mean,
I've seen.
Why would that not work?
Armageddon.
Why would that not work?
I think they're trying to prove that it would before they send people.
They just diverted it into some alien planet, and 400 million years is going to get an asteroid that it wasn't expecting.
That's pretty crazy. Well, we're recording this, and we've just had the Ian hurricane.
I was just going to say about the hurricane coverage that has been happening.
It's pretty devastating.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the pictures of Tampa Bay that was just totally receded out? That was weird.
When it was coming in close to it?
Well, no, all the water just totally receded out of the bay.
And then comes back in.
Yeah, but just pictures of the bay just totally dry was like,
Mm-hmm.
that was a little freaky.
Yes.
That's like to be a fish going on minding your day and like,
You might end up next to a palm tree somewhere.
You just kind of get pulled around.
Yeah.
But the people that have lived in Florida for a while understand the power of the hurricanes, and hopefully people that we know and everybody's being safe, but things like storm shutters and all those things are real things there that are a little bit foreign to those of us who have not spent much time in Florida.
And we have some of our Madison County Fire Department went down.
Oh, good.
As to
help
and do, and so yay for them for doing that.
That is the thing that will take, it happens in a day or two. And then it takes months and months, sometimes years to recover.
Oh, yeah,
so
completely.
Prayers for all of them.
For sure. Well, did you also see that sadly Coolio passed away?
Yes, I heard this.
He's gone on to be in Gangster's Paradise.
I knew that was coming somewhere.
Had to, sorry.
I think it's still, unclear about exactly how he died or what, but yeah, I heard that.
I saw something about it, but it was one of those things passing where I didn't even know if it was a real thing.
Right,
if it was like some kind of I didn't even look to see if it was real or if it was just something.
He was trying to go out like Elvis, go out on the toilet.
Oh, no.
That's the way I want to go out.
Well, he is definitely one of the ones with the most unique hair.
Oh yeah,
and it's consistently been that way since the 80s,
that's his image.
Yeah,
and nobody else can wear that hair. And
wonder how long it takes to do that hair.
I don't know.
Oh goodness, there ain't no telling.
He has somebody else do it for him.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Right now it's probably so trained.
I don't know. It's just random.
I'll use that Gorilla Glue. It'll stay for.
Just go a different direction. Yeah. Well, there's definitely, we're at that time of year. Have y'all been keeping up with any of the new shows? And I mean, like the new Voice is out, and the new this, and the new Dance, and the new Idol, and the new American, or was it Amazing Race, and all that stuff, and any of the new shows? I haven't really.
No. Again, I don't have cable, so I don't know. I don't keep up with
the landscape of TV has changed so much for me. I think about even even 10 years ago, there were particular networks that I watched.
Yeah.
And if a new show was coming out, premiere season was something you paid attention to.
Yeah.
Right now, I hear, I just the other day, and I don't remember the name of the show, but it's kind of a New York kind of show. I don't know if it's detective or whatever. It's got Jimmy Smits in it, and it's from the producers that did NYPD Blue, and so it's similar to that. And I've watched that show quite a bit. That was going to be premiered here, and maybe it already has, but that just seems such a weird thing to me.
Yeah.
Premiering tonight. I'm so used to hearing when it's going to, launch, the season's going to launch on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever else. That just seems very weird to me. And when shows like Dancing with the Stars move networks, and it's just an interesting time.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars is on Disney Plus now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard something interesting that I don't know, it kind of applies to this, but it was on TikTok. Somebody had asked why millennials know so much about pop culture and things from generations before them, whereas like Gen Zers don't know anything from 20 years ago. You know, it's like, and part of it was that when networks went to a 24-hour thing and there started being more and more channels, there wasn't enough content to fill all those channels. So they pulled from, so that's why they were reshowing Looney Tunes and all the, the Brady Bunch and all that, all these older shows.
That makes sense.
So that, people my age, kids, when they grew up watching, they were watching shows from decades before. And so they got a cultural understanding from the last generations. Well, now because content is being created so much, it's impossible for anybody to watch everything and keep up. And so you have to be a lot more particular about what you watch, but there's just so much more out there. Somebody, that's born now never gets a chance to watch the old stuff because they're trying to keep up with all the new stuff. And it kind of plays into that. There's just so much content out there right now. It's like, it's hard to keep up with anything.
I wonder if that's light bulb kind of went off in my head, why there's so many top 10 lists, top 20 lists, top whatever list. You're consolidating all of this information into a manageable chunk that you can digest, and then from there you can peel off and say, oh, I'd like to see that movie or that show or whatever. But it's a way to kind of consolidate information for us to be able to even take it all in, because there's so much.
I like using the word curation.
Curation, yes.
It's about curating, because that's, and I think that's a lot of what social media is now, at least what I see, like with those top 10 lists and things. It's no longer not all content creation, but it's content curation.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. It's not content creation, it's content curation, because a lot of what you see is people recommending, shows or whatever, these are the top 10 animes you can watch, and so it gives people who have never watched an anime that are now confronted with, catalogs of it. It's like, where do you even start? And something like that kind of helps people get into it. So,
well, I've got a question. Is this applies to church life or Christian life? So with all the tons of content out there, we've had lots of books for a long time, right? So how do you identify and really be critical of sources of material?
That's a good question.
What do you depend on? What do you rely on? How do you decide if this is theologically sound versus this other thing? I'm not sure I have it figured out, because there's so much out there. I mean, obviously you can still go by, you trust this person because X, Y, and Z. But a lot of times it's recommendations from friends that carry a lot of weight. We've known that for years. Yeah. You won't just go to a restaurant because you've seen an ad. You only go if somebody else has been and said, via their expert advice, meaning experience, they like it too. So is that it? A lot of things we can like, but they might not be theologically sound. And so what if our friends are all reading it and say, yeah, this is great, but it's maybe not leading us down the right path? I don't know. What do you guys think? I
think that's when you go to someone in the church, like a pastor or someone that you do trust with a little bit more theological understanding, and ask them if you have questions. Whenever I read something, and I try to keep in my mind that I try to approach it in whatever lens that it was written in. So I try to find out enough about the author to kind of know what background they came out of, but that requires some digging and stuff. But even then, I try to remember that no matter what is written, it's all just sort of an interpretation or opinion on the scripture. Yeah. And the scripture is really the only true. But even then, when you start getting into after talking with Beth Allison Barr, I'm like, even your translations can be a little iffy. So I'm even starting to like, it's taking me a lot longer to read stuff because I'm trying to vet everything, and it's
well, and that can kind of, what they say, the devil's in the details sometimes, and that can kind of slow down that process. Because one of the things she did say, none of the true translations are going to steer you the wrong way, but they might influence you, if that's what the people doing the translating want you. And it's what I think about. Like, if I'm going to use something online, I'm going to use as many tried and true sources like Bible Gateway. So one of the ones that's been out there for a long time. And
there's one that I like called Bible Hub. And when you type in it just gives you you type in the verse and it gives you every translation, and you can just see all the different wordings compared. And I like that.
Bible Gateway has something similar. Bible Hub and YouVersion. There's some of them that are really good. And and that's, but if you just Google something out there and just get your top pop-ups, you need to look and see,
right?
This is coming from so-and-so, and whoa, who is so-and-so associated with? And that's what, you kind of need to know, because you might be studying something that you don't even agree with.
Right. Right. So, well, I think I heard this comment just the other day. It was a sort of a joke, but they said, well, who finishes books anymore? How many books have we either bought and started, or have never even really bought, just find an excerpt up somewhere? I think that's become more of a thing, that we just don't have either the attention span or the felt time to fully finish a book, or the ability or desire to slow down enough.
Yeah. Well, I think along those lines, the number one social media right now is TikTok. And it's the largest social media community right now. And, it's 3 minutes. I think it's a long TikTok. So, and people can pretty well put anything out there they want to, and they can show up in your, whatever, however it falls and gets in your feed. But, and whatever hashtags you look up. So if you want to, or you look up hashtag John 3:16 and find a TikTok for it. Yeah, probably. You could probably do that today. But those are great questions. They really are. So
I'm on the Christian side of TikTok, and there's a ton of people, and they're all just giving their opinion on different things, and you can hear people argue back and forth, and I'm like, none of y'all know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Although I did hear something interesting, which I had to look up, and now I need some answers for it.
Okay.
I have found so far 3 verses that were omitted from my Bible.
Oh yeah, that's become a thing.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok first, and I went and looked, and sure enough, they're not in my Bible, and I need answers. I think my guess is that because in the footnotes it says earlier manuscripts include, or earlier versions or whatever include this, and so part of me is thinking they found a new or an older manuscript that didn't have those in there, so they took them out. But if you go look into your Bible and look up Matthew 17, it'll jump straight from 20 to 22.
Yeah.
Scandal.
There's not 21.
There's not. And there's another one. There's 3 that I found. I've got them written down in my actual Bible.
But the fun thing is the original Bibles did not even have verse numbers.
No.
So they weren't written with verse numbers on them.
Right.
No.
Scroll length.
Yeah. They didn't whip out the scroll.
I guess we got to figure out.
Where is that? Today we'll be looking at Isaiah 33:14.
Well, I guess we got to figure out when were verses implemented in the Bible?
I used to know
what
that.
Was the first? Yeah, what was the first?
Well, sure, it was King James.
It was somewhere. I thought it was earlier than that. I thought it was closer to the Council of Nicaea.
Well, it may have been.
Could be.
Somewhere around there. Which means if some of those first translations did include those, Yeah, whatever manuscript they were working off of would have had to been there when they first put verse numbers in. And then they found another manuscript later, so they took those out, but it left the hole in the verse numbers. Otherwise, they wouldn't have numbered them that way. Would be my guess. But see, again, I'm just speculating. I don't know.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. I've seen some of those go through. Most of the ones I like are like the ones that are saying, you grew up in a youth group if you recognize these songs or this games. And so those are pretty funny because they're all really true.
Yeah.
Well, pop culture is pop culture, regardless of what group you're in. So whatever you experienced at that time was influenced by somebody else, likely.
Yeah, exactly.
So their trends always have been, always will be.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot going on coming up here soon, don't we?
We do.
Don't we have some trunk or treating?
Yeah, before we get to that, though, we got a couple other things, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I want a trunk or treat.
Because if you want the candy, you got to come to the church work day. No, I'm just kidding. We are going to have a church work day up here on October the 8th from 8 to 11:30. We're just going to do some general groundskeeping, some work on the flower beds and the bushes and removing some downed tree limbs and, just some of that kind of stuff to keep our property looking nice.
That's good.
And presentable.
That is good, yes.
And that takes a lot of hands and a lot of help.
And probably a lot of tools.
But that's going to happen on October the 8th from 8 to 11:30. So if you're free, you want to do a little yard work, come on out to the church.
Yes.
Then on October the 13th, Thursday, October the 13th from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. is the Mothership Paint Party. So
they're back.
So for all moms of any age, if your kid's my age, then you're still welcome. But cost is $15 for all the supplies, and you'll get to keep whatever masterpiece you create.
Hey, speaking of Christmas presents, there you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Mine would probably be a Picasso, dude. I'm telling you.
Hey, well, they get sold for millions of dollars.
The struggle would be real. Except he did that on purpose. I'm not sure that would be on purpose.
But then we'll get to trunk or treat Sunday.
Yes,
October 30th from 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. We're gonna have games. We're gonna have candy, all the fun stuff.
Good.
So come dressed up and let's have a good time.
Yay! I'm looking forward to that.
Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year.
Yes, so. we need to guess what you're going to be dressed up as before it happens and see if we're right.
Yeah, that'd be good.
One more thing. This is probably this is a personal plea to everyone. Not really a plea, but we're needing volunteers for the feed, and so that is our Sunday morning announcement video that plays. If you or someone you know would be interested in helping us out with that, you can get in touch with me at patrick@northsidejackson.com, or you can go to our website, northsidejackson.com/creative arts, and you can sign up there. And we really could use your help.
There's a lot of stuff there. I'll just put in a plug as well for that creative arts area on the website that talks a lot about, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and all that kind of thing. So if you're interested at all in that, just learning more about it, go and check that out as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's my personal plug. Thanks.
The feed. Yeah.
Well, guys, thanks for podcasting with me. And thanks to all of you out there in the world for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram at Northside Now Podcast. Go to our website, northsidejackson.com, or email us at podcast@northsidejackson.com. We hope to hear from you soon. Once again, this is Patrick.
This is Glenn.
I'm Kevin.
And that's what's happening at Northside Now.
Bye-bye.